and I applied to US universities as well as Canadian universities. I chose Canada over US for a lot of reasons.
You came wasn't the best job market in Canada, but yet you were able to get three co-ops, which is mind blowing. And now you're working as a business system analyst as well. What is the total tuition fees for MBA in Canada?
So I did wanted a loan from US or Canada because situation back home in my family was not in our favor. And
But then you mentioned that you did three co-ops.
yes,
So was this during your MBA? When you say walk through, you mean like literally just
yes,
going to the
yes,
office?
yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
I did that. I was like, okay, what will they do? They will not throw me out. They will say no. Okay, so I went in. I went to KPMG. I went to all those different companies in downtown, and then I got leads from all the companies. I got email addresses. I got one coffee chat with one. I got in-person meeting with one. So everything, and I got referral from two.
Thank you, Bishal, for doing this, and welcome to the Empower Show. My name is Yudi, and I was an international student, but from United States. But you are an international student in from Canada, so I think it's going to be an interesting journey to explore, like what does your student life look like in Canada, from Nepal to Canada. And I've been helping students in United States with their international student journey, but we want to explore your journey. So let's start with a quick intro. When did you go to Canada? Yeah, like where are you from, and what background and what university, and we'll then go from there.
So thank you so much, Yuri. It's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to it. And talking about myself, I come from a small village known as Janakpur, which is in Nepal, and then we migrated to Kathmandu, and that's where I did my education until undergraduate. So I did my bachelor's in IT from a London Met University certified college in Nepal, and then we had a family business there and then I started my entrepreneurial journey there, and then post COVID, the things were not really looking great for businesses. So that's when I decided, okay, I have been a really nerdy student before, so let's start my master's studies. And then I had business knowledge, and then I had bachelor's in IT, but then I wanted a mid. So what can be the best education? So I thought MBA in IT, and I applied to US universities as well as Canadian universities, and I chose Canada over US for a lot of reasons. And then I got accepted to this amazing university, which is top five universities in Canada, and that is McMaster University. And the Good School of Business MBA degree is really considered one of the powerful MBAs in Canada,
Mm.
and I do not regret that decision today. And yeah, I got a chance to go on exchange to Australia. I had multiple internship opportunities, a lot of exposures, and case study based learning. So yeah, so far so good, and I'm working for a great company here in Canada as of now. Even the job market is bad, but our school taught us, how to do networking and what are the things which we need to polish among us, so that we align with the professionalism which the market needs. So that
Mhm.
is what we learned, and yeah, so far so good. Happy and proud to be here.
Amazing. And so what is your current role?
So I'm working as a business system analyst in one of the legacy companies in Canada. It's known as AAA in US and CAA in Canada.
Oh, the AAA insurance company.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that is big. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank
Great.
you.
Okay. So again, from a work experience perspective, how many years of experience did you have before you came to Canada?
Well, that's tricky because a straight answer is I had about 5 years of experience, but I was an entrepreneur before. So somewhere it's highly regarded, and somewhere if you do not have relevance experience, it's like just the soft skills will be regarded, but hard skills not pretty much there, right? So 5 years in the books, I would say.
So, from a Canada perspective, is 5 years plus the entrepreneurship experience, is that valued more? I would imagine it is, but I don't know. Like, you tell me.
Well, it depends. I'm glad you asked this question because it depends on how you frame it and what is your end goal. What are you trying to achieve? If you are
Mm.
trying to achieve a job role which is onto sales, then yes, my experience is out there. But the current role, which as a BA, I don't necessarily do not have experience, but I have a strong degree which is supporting me right there. So I'm starting as a fresher for sure, but having this role is fine. So it all depends, like I said, not a straightforward answer, but it depends on what you want to achieve, at the end of the day.
Mm, amazing. And so 5 years before coming to Canada, and then you came, I'm assuming worst job market wasn't the best job market in Canada, but yet you were able to get three co-ops, which is mind blowing.
Hmm.
And now you're working as a business system analyst
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
So let's go back to the decision of, like, I know you kind of hinted it, like US versus Canada,
Yeah.
and you chose Canada for
Yeah.
certain reasons.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can go a layer deeper, like
Yeah.
why Canada? Because most people prefer US.
Yes, but not today. Just the news broke down. I saw in your podcast as well. A big
Yeah.
news broke down. So I'm glad I took that decision just today. And today is the way that reflected. So multiple reasons, right? Because if I'm investing my next 5 years of my youth, I wanted some good outcome, and it might not necessarily be money. And of course, USD earning in USD is always great, but then security, a lot of gun violence is there, and a lot of skepticism are there in US, which is really pain to think about. So I thought, okay, Canada is a safer option and safer PR opportunities as compared to US settlement, and then green card is really a tough part of, if I want to think about that. So for safety and for settlement wise, PR wise, I chose Canada over US because I was accepted in good universities in US also, but then I chose this over US.
Mm, got it. Okay. And was MBA from the very get go that you wanted to be like your MBA versus like a master's in engineering management, or like a lot of people do
Mhm.
like an MIS or something like that?
Well, the thing about me is I was an entrepreneur before, and then I wanted to solve problems, and then I'm not someone who likes to, work at the back office. Of course, I'm doing that now and I'm learning, but then, I had that energy which needed that some channel, right? And then masters in engineering means I would be again working at the back office eventually, but then MBA is something dynamic. It's the middle way between business and IT. I have a bachelor's in IT and experience in business, so let's do MBA, and that was the safe and best choice for me given the situation and experiences I had.
Hmm. Great. So MBA, you chose Canada. From a process perspective, like the application perspective, is it pretty similar? Like what is it? Uh, like do you have to choose the specialization, or is it just like, what's the application process for Canada?
Oh well, so I did a lot of things to so I applied to 72 universities altogether. I did my
Wait,
application.
how many?
72 universities. I mailed 72 universities individually on my own. So this is my portfolio, this is my profile, and this is who I am. What before doing application, I just mailed to the admission committee, and some replied back to saying that apply to our portal. Some said that they are impressed with my energy and my application portfolio, which I had made something outside of resume and standard SOPs, and they were really interested. Boston University was one of them, one of the top universities on my list. So I got accepted in three of the Canadian universities out of six which I applied, and I got five offer letters from US universities. But then again, I chose, of course, BU. I applied pretty late in the calendar year, application calendar year. I applied in April, to let you know. And then, of course, US is easier than Canada because for Canada application, you have to have a lot of documentation done. You have to have your finances checked and how you're funding your education. There are a lot of things, which needed to be submitted to apply for your visa, study visa. And also you have to make sure, I gave 3 rounds of interviews for McMaster University to get through. So it was a good experience, learning experience, but luckily I got through. And as I was applying in late April, like mid-April, I would say, I got offer letter in 13 days. That was the quickest of all my peers who did MBA with me. So that was,
Mm,
I got lucky that in that case. So
mm.
document wise, Canada is a bit complicated, but if you basically talk to a good consultancy services, I hired one. Of course, I did my application on my own, but for visa, I chose to talk with the experienced folks, and that's the way I got about it.
Yeah, and I think for visa, I know we're going to talk about Empower, but
Mhm.
they also provide a lot of visa help, and with the visa officers and all of it. So,
Mhm.
uh, so let's go back to so you chose MBA. Did you do any specialization, or was it like general MBA?
So, as I went on exchange to Australia as a part of my MBA, I had to do general, but most of my courses are tech based. So, if
Mm,
had I not been to Australia, it would be a business analytics focused MBA, but it's general on the books.
gotcha. Okay, and it is a STEM based major or no?
Not really, because
I guess it doesn't matter in
it
Canada
doesn't
if it is
matter
a.
in Canada. That's the answer you are looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. What like what is the, maybe we can talk about like cost of living and the tuition fees as well. Like what is the total tuition fees for MBA in Canada, and then separately the cost of living as well.
Well, it depends from school to school in current date. So when I applied for McMaster, the tuition fees was 92,000 Canadian dollars. But today it's 120 Canadian dollars for the same program which my juniors are doing, and
Wow.
higher for even better universities. UFT, University of Toronto, it's even in 150 mids, or I'm not too sure even. So
Mm.
it's tougher. It's really on above 110 for sure, 120 for sure in other reputable university as well. Yeah, and talking about living
And
expense.
so $120,000 for entire program, and
Yeah.
it's a 2-year program.
So we have a different program. So mine is 28 months program because I had three internships, and we have a full time program with one internship. That's 20 months program. So that's
Mm.
the each and internship is 4 months. So 8 months adds up because I did two extra internship.
Hmm. Gotcha. Okay. And then cost of living, like what would be the typical cost of living? Like which rent,
Yeah.
groceries, and all of like utilities and all of it.
Yeah, so I come from Nepal, so I know how to live cheaply, right? So I got this very good housing close to university, so trying to make things affordable and easy. So it all depends how you choose to live a life. If you want to live a very nice, hasty life, then you can find a better apartment. $1,000 and upwards for sure. That would be the room charges, and then food and all of those expenses. I would say, and phone bill as well, including that would be $400 to $500. So $1,500 as cost of living would be good number, but I managed to bring it down to around $1,100 to
Hmm.
$1,200 at max.
Wow. Got it. Yeah. So depending on the lifestyle, it can
Yes.
be anywhere from 1,000 to $1,500, and you just multiply that. That's per month cost. So you multiply that however long the program is.
Yes.
Right. Gotcha. Obviously, it's very expensive. Did you end up taking the loan? I know you end up taking loan from Empower, right?
Yes. Yes, so that was the thing. So I did wanted a loan from US or Canada, because situation back home in my family was not in our favor, and it was complicated back home, honestly, to get extra funds for my tuition fees, right? So that's when I chose Empower. I also applied to other financial institution, but Empower process was really quick, and they were and there right there to providing me the loan, and assisting me with what are the steps. So I got a loan approval within I would say 10 days after my application. And
Hmm.
then that and they even gave me supporting letter, so which was really handy while applying for visa for Canada,
Hmm.
that this is how I'm going to fund my tuition fees. This is what I've already paid to university, and this is the rest. So you do not need to worry about my finances, even if when I be in Canada. That is how I approached while applying to visa, and that was really clear pathway for me. So thanks to
Hmm.
Power on that note.
Amazing. And then how does the disbursement process work? Because,
Hmm.
it, everything is digital for
Yes.
Empower.
Yes.
So you can do it everything
Hmm.
sitting at your home.
Hmm.
Once the loan is approved, you have the letter, you
Hmm.
get the visa. When do you get the money?
Hmm. So once it's approved, disbursement is really easy. I just have to mail them that how much amount do I want, and they are up there, on what I need. So basically, what happens? I got my disbursement in three or four. I'm not too sure. Four different stalls in installations basically. So and when I wanted not any amount to be disbursed, I used to mail them, and it was just easy peasy from my end. And then that's how things went, and nothing too handy. And then what happened is I used to mail them, and they used to deposit the money in university's account. And then university used to deduct their tuition fees, and I also got additional fund for my living expenses just in case if I do not
Mm,
end up getting a part-time job. So that is what happened, was the typical route. So university deducted whatever I owe them, and then they gave me the remaining amount to my bank account. So it was nothing too
okay, so it's
handy.
not just the tuition fees, they can also
Yes,
help with the cost of living.
100%.
Nice. Okay, great. And then I know you mentioned that you may need extra cost of living, but in United States we have like on-campus job, but in Canada I think you don't have to have on-campus. You can
Hmm.
work anywhere.
Hmm.
Did you end up working during your masters or no?
Well, I was planning to, but in life, nothing goes as per plan, right? So, our MBA was so intensive, so crazy intensive. So, I slept uh, on campus for 3 nights straight. I had my toothbrush in the bag, and then our assignment were really, really, intensive. So, I thought I would be working, but then it was not a choice for me in my at least first 2 semesters, because there were a lot of assignments. It was a lot, and then of course added on homesickness, added on new country cultural shock, and then a lot of things managing by yourself. So it was a lot on the plate. But luckily I had Empower, which took the stress off the table, and I had some savings which actually helped at the right time.
Mm, gotcha. Okay. Um, but then you mentioned that you did three co-ops.
Yes.
So was this during your MBA? So you were doing that and MBA. So that's why you didn't end up getting any other time to do any other on campus or like part-time jobs.
So let's understand how the cycle works. So at first we have to study for 4 months, followed by 4 month co-ops or internships, and then we come back to school for 4 months study, and then followed by 4 months of co-op. So that is how the cycle goes. So it's not doing
Oh,
same thing at the doing both at the same time, but it's just study co-op. It goes one after the other. So it was
is
nice.
this like your specific program at this university or
Yes.
every university is the same?
No, just this program at this university. I had manifested to be in this program a year back in 2021, and 2022 I was there. So God does amazing things, right?
Mm,
So yeah, it was
got
great. And so the flexibility of this program is really, really good, because of course we had to do co-ops, but if we wanted to do something outside of Canada, it can be internship in US, it can be something in Dubai, India. So what I did was I had my own business back home, and then I also had a known company who would offer me internships. So I got approval from the management and from the advisors that I want to do my first co-op in Nepal, first internship in Nepal, because I want to do well there, and also I wanted to close my business down. So that is what I did in my first co-op. In my second co-op, I worked in this amazing company in downtown Toronto as a sales and customer success associate. It was a great 4 month experience, pretty intensive. They had their own AI platform, pretty handy, a lot of learning opportunity. And then after that, I went to Australia as a part of my student exchange program, and I had some extra funds which Empower disbursed it, and then I was able to get my flight tickets with the help of those funds. And yeah,
wow.
sorry.
I was just saying, like, wow, that's
Yeah, thank
interesting.
you.
That you also got to go to Australia
Yes.
for your exchange program.
Yes, it was great experience. I worked in Australia, as per the limitations which Australian government had, and then I studied at University of Adelaide for 4 months, for a semester. Basically, it's a premium university in Australia as well. So
Mm.
great experience. I traveled there. I met with my family in Australia, and then I stayed a bit longer. So my last co-op, which was supposed to be after my semester in Australia, I continued that in Australia. So I didn't come back to Canada. I thought, okay, let's have some Australian experience. Why not? If I'm already here, then because it was all those energies back to Canada, applying all that, and I already was working somewhere in Australia. So let's extend this. Let's talk to my management, and then that is what I did. And then I came back to Canada to wrap up my last semester and get done with my MBA. And 2024 December, I was done with my MBA.
You mentioned there are some culture shocks and getting used to the environment coming from Nepal, Canada.
Mhm.
Like, what are some of the in like culture shocks that students should prepare for if they're watching, especially people from Nepal?
That's a good one out there. So number one would be you have to figure out how you would be getting your accommodation sorted. If it's on campus, and that's well and good, but there are a lot of scams happening out there in marketplace and all of that. So do not fall for that, because accommodation is one of the biggest challenges with student faced. I was lucky enough because I didn't fall into those scams, but I was exposed to it. I got to know people ask for money upfront without even showing the room and all of that. So that is number one thing. And then traveling from airport, what are the things which you should make sure while you are coming from Nepal to Canada? What are the checklist for immigration documents? You need to make sure that you have that with you, and carry your documents. That is always good idea. And
Mm,
third would be, how would you travel from airport to your accommodation, because you do not have credit card or anything which so you can book an Uber, or if you know your friend who can pick you up, make sure that he or she is reliable one, because you cannot say anything until you are certain about it. So that is another one. And fourth would be trying to understand what are the cheap ways to live around your city or your campus where you are living, because you have to make sure. That is what I think I didn't do well in the initial months, because I didn't know which store to go to get what cheaply.
mm,
So that is what I know well and good now. So it's always a good idea to ask to your seniors. And one thing no one should hesitate is asking questions, no matter whoever he or she is. Ask. If you do not know, just ask. Do not be fearful. Do not hesitate. If you do not know where to how to tap a credit card as well, as easy as that, just ask them. Because I didn't know. We used to insert credit card back in Nepal, but here tapping system was that. It was new to me. So that is one thing. And someone told me, what is Interact? So Interact is basically how you send money, from your bank account to someone else's account. I didn't know. Someone told me, Interact me the money. I'm like, I was not that. So do not hesitate to ask easy, simple questions, right? And then
mm,
making sure that you're mentally sound as well. You talk to your family, and then you make good circle of friends. That is also very crucial here, because you're
mm.
away from home, new country, everything is new, and having that good friend who you can lean on to is also really important.
What about education differences? Like, did you feel like there was a culture shock from an academic perspective? Like, is it similar to how it is in Nepal, or is it completely different?
Well, I can give three examples, because I also studied in Australia as well, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I would say among all the three, I would say Canada is the top most and better, because
Mm,
they gave me industry exposure. So I'm sure you must know Mozilla Firefox. So one of the case study was, we worked with Mozilla Firefox to help them grow their markets share, because Google Chrome is taking their market share, right? So we were helping, and we were basically competing in teams to help them find a solution for their business. So
mm,
exposure was there, and we learned from real life examples. And then of course there were some complaints. Who doesn't have a complaint, right? A human tendency, right? But at the end, I would say Canadian education and the environment which we were put into while studying MBA, it was like cutthroat, like so competitive, so intense, that it was like it really brushes you up, right? When you are into a tough situation, you get out of it being someone better. So that is what happened to me, which I really will always be thankful for. So Canadian education number one, and then I would say Nepal education number two. Sorry, Australia, but Nepal education is also there. They teach you from basics, and they also make you understand, even though it needs some update. But then it's out there. The teachers are good, and you learn something, and you are basically with internet and AI and everything out there, you basically do good. But in Australia, it's more of assignment based education. You know, you just go. I went to campus 4 or 5 times in the entire 4 months. So not for like for I would say 7 8 times. So it's all assignment based, but our was experience based in Canada, and somewhat similar to Nepal also. So I would say yes. If you want to study in Canada, you wanna make sure that you are in the present, you are active, you are not emotionally down, because when you think that you need some downtime, then you'll be way behind already with your what is there, and why did you come to Canada for to pursue education? Education is already back, so it's
Mm.
tough, with everything happening at the same time.
Mm. How I forgot to ask you, how is the immigration process? So for US, you if you need F1 visa and you need to give an interview, you need to clear the interview and then you get visa to come to United States.
Yes.
What about Canada? Like, how is it over there?
So for Canada, I'm not too sure for now. But what happened with me is I like I said, I hired a professional. I applied to McMaster universities on my own. But then for visa application, I made sure that I talked to someone who has been doing this for years. So I onboarded a agent for myself. I made sure that all the documents are well and good, all the finances are strong, because you can find resources out there on YouTube and different channels. But then again, having someone who work with you for some money is, it's always a good idea, right? Because it's about your
I mean,
future.
that's an entrepreneur mindset right there.
It's about
Yeah.
your future, right? So $100, $200, and then getting a positive result is always a good idea. So that is what I did. I made sure that I also used to sit with the agent, and then we used to work together. I used to write SOPs. I used to make sure he reads it. I used to make sure he just goes through it, not just skims through it. And then I got the documents, all clear, and then we applied, and then I got my visa in 71 days. So we do not need to give any interviews. We need to give medical, and then after medical, we need to give biometrics, and then biometrics is done, and then we just wait. We apply. We just wait. Uh, for visa to come. And for Canadian visa, it does take time. For US visa, you get the interview dates, then and there that you are in or out. But for Canadian visa, it's like, it's like slow poison. It's like you do not know if it's positive or negative. So for me, it's the wait was 71 days, and then I got through because I had all those documents, including the Empower finances, financial documents, and then my own documents, which I had made sure that it's well and good, and then I got through. And yeah, I came to Canada on September.
Sorry. And
Yeah.
so, is there like a interview process?
No, no, there is no interview process.
Just like the whole documentation
Yes.
process, and
Yes.
then you just get through it that way.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Biometrics, medicals, and apply. That's all. No interview.
Got it. Okay, perfect. And then safety wise, like how safe is your university? Like, is it pretty safe? Do you feel uh, there are certain things that students should be aware of?
It all depends. Number one, on how you choose to go out as well. Like, today, nothing is safe, I would say.
Hmm.
And of course, it's better than US. But I live in this city called Hamilton. It's one of the criminal cities known in Canada, but it's not too bad. I love this city, and the area where I stay, it's really safe and it's really good because it's peaceful, and it's one of the older housing area where we stay. So I hadn't had any such encounters, but homelessness is an issue here in Canada, and then lot of violence has come up since last few months.
Yeah, but what would you recommend?
Mhm.
Like from your experience now
Mhm.
that you've been in Canada for
Mhm.
quite some time, uh, what is your recommendation that incoming student planning to come to Canada, what would be your recommendation from a safety standpoint? Is it like, don't go out after like certain time, stay in the groups, don't listen to your seniors? Like, what would you do if you were to come back again?
Uh, that's, I would say, always be cautious. That is one. And do not go out in downtown areas where homeless people stay. That would be two. And then make sure you do not go out late. alone. And that is something which you would be, and always have someone who knows, you'd be out late, so that they can keep a track of you, if something goes haywire, right?
Yeah. Got it. Okay, let's shift gear
Mhm.
and talk about job market. So you had co-ops,
Yeah.
three co-ops, and now you also have a full-time job. So
Mhm.
how is the job market in Canada right now? Like, are people able to get jobs easily? Is it very hard? Are there
Yeah.
jobs? Are there not jobs? Like, what's the job market like?
Well, I do not want to dishearten by answering this question, but I just want to say the positive side of it. Yes, if you see the stats, ChatGPT, Google it, the unemployment is rising in Canada, in Ontario especially, But at
Mm.
the end, it all depends on how you apply, who you reach out to. I believe network is your net worth here in Canada. So the more you talk to people, the more you go be out there on the face of people who are responsible to hire, or the people who knows how to help people, then that is one thing. So yes, the job market is bad, let's be real, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you do the right things, reaching out to people. I did some walkthroughs. I thought I was dressed up for an interview one day, and then I thought, okay, let's do walkthroughs in five of the companies. And shockingly, all five companies had senior managers who were had 20, 30 years of experience, and they all appreciated how I was dressed up and how I walked through, right? So we walked through for minimum wage work, but why not for actual corporate jobs? So I decided, okay, let's be brave.
When you say walk through, you mean like literally just
Yes,
going to the
yes,
office?
yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
I did that. I was like, okay, what will they do? They will not throw me out. They will say no. Okay, I can take that no, and that's okay. So let's see, let's experience this. And then out of the blues, I just decided, because I was dressed up well and good, suited for already. So I went in. I went to KPMG. I went to all those different companies in downtown, and then I got leads from all the companies. I got email addresses. I got one coffee chat with one. I got in-person meeting with one. So everything, and I got referral from two. So everything was positive. So this is what I would recommend to whoever is listening. Go, do not be afraid to walk in, in companies, but you should know what you're talking. You should know that and have that learner mindset, and then use that power of being recent graduate. That is really powerful, which people do not realize. Because from a manager or a employer point of view, recent graduate means they should have attitude and learning mindset. They will coach them. If you are coachable, then they will get you in. So that is what I chose to say, that I am recent graduate from McMaster, and then I would like to learn from you. Of course, know about the company. What I did was I just Google it. I just read about it for 5 minutes before entering their offices, and then I knew enough. And then they really appreciated. The manager really, he had this long LinkedIn post that this guy came walking my office dressed like $1 million. And then he actually gave me connections. He's gave me put a word about me out there, right? So that was really valuable for me. It had like 20,000 LinkedIn reach, and it was really really nice for me, because even though I didn't get a
This
conversion,
is
but
like
it was nice.
so wild. So you decided to just go
Yeah.
through the company and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna dress up really well,
Yeah.
which means like a blazer and a shirt and all of it. Like
Yeah.
you went there and then you started like, and the goal is to just find people and talk to them basically.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And just tell them that I'm a recent graduate. I'm looking for opportunity, and then I find the company really good. If there is any opportunity, I can learn from you. Basically not asking for job directly, but asking them questions, smart questions, and at the end hitting, is there anything I can work with you? I can shadow you, or is there any opportunity at the end? If you hit the hammer in the beginning, they would be upset that he's here for a job. But if you
Mm.
want to understand about the company goal, culture, and then their experiences, and then hit that need at the end, then maybe that would be more impactful, is what I think.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, that is so impressive. You did that, and
Yeah.
someone even took a initiative to like call you out on LinkedIn and give a shout out,
Yeah.
and that helped you in getting more reach. That's amazing.
Mhm.
What about AAA? Like, how did you get that? Like, is it purely cold application, or was it?
No. So here's the thing. I applied to I lost the count, but it's definitely around 3,000 jobs. So it's a big number, and it's only LinkedIn and a few other websites. So, but this current role, it's full time. It's not full time. It's contract, but I know I'll get it done to full time. So I get 40 hours. Everything. It's a 1 year contract. But I would say at the end, how I got this is networking. No, cold application didn't work. So I reached out to someone who was in a senior level position, and then I told that this is what I want to do, and I want to learn from you. I do not want a job. It's okay. The guy told that we do not have a job now. We do not want to hire anyone for now. We are in hiring freeze, as it was IT department, right? So I thought, okay, do not give me a job. I'm here to learn from you. I want to see how to be on that side of the bridge, right? And that line, I think that did the thing, because now I know that AAA or CAA whole agenda is to be learner. Even the folks with 20 years, 30 years of experience
Mm.
are intense learners. And I said the thing that I want to be a learner, and then he paused for me, and then eventually I got
Wow.
in.
That is amazing. Yeah, that is so cool. I love this approach of like going out there and networking
Yeah.
and like being bold and not worrying about what other people think and like, what's the worst will happen? They'll just say me no. So, but I'll still
Yeah.
just go. So, love that.
Yeah, people were thinking about me. What people will say will not pay my rent. Me doing things will pay my rent, right? So yeah,
Yeah, I love that. Awesome, man. This has been such a great journey from Nepal
yeah.
to Canada and even, three co-ops, full-time job. I would love to like, bring you back and do more deep dive. But
Mhm.
to end this, before we end this, what is the one advice or what are some of the advices you would give to incoming Nepal students that they're planning to come for their masters or MBAs or even job, like from your experience, like what's the one advice, or doesn't have to be one, but what's the advice would you give them?
So I would say three at the top of my head. Number one is be fearless. If
Mm.
you want to do things, just plan it out. Be fearless. You'll find ways. Just we have internet, we have AI, chat GPT, a lot of things. Our family, our parents didn't have it, so use it and be fearless. You can crack it if you really intend to. Number two is do your research. Wherever you are going, whatever you are doing, do your research by googling, like I said, or reaching out to people, talking to people. And number three, it's my strategy, totally personal, but academics do good, but always focus on networking. Always focus on networking here in Canada, because that is where you will go to places. Do not hesitate to reach out to people. It's okay if you don't eat for a day, but make sure you talk to someone every day. And that is what worked for me.
Nice. Love it. Awesome, man. Again, thank you so much for being on the Empower show. I am excited for your journey and for your future, but hopefully, I get to bring you back and we can deep dive into more of a business analyst and how to become one and all of it. But
Yeah.
this was great. Thank you again for being here. And yeah, excited to see what life has for you for the next chapter.
Thank you so much, Yudi. It was a pleasure talking to you all, and hopefully people will, find it helpful as well. Cheers.
Yeah. So it was helpful for me. So I'm sure people will find it helpful. Awesome. Amazing. See you. Bye.